You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama. This is Ghost Talk with 187 PI. Sit back and prepare yourselves for an adventure into the paranormal world with host Shelly Robertson and 187 PI research team. Ghost Talk is broadcasting live from Ohio's most haunted jail. Learn about their ongoing research at the jail and abroad, investigation techniques, and their personal encounters. Here is your host of Ghost Talk and 187 PI founder, Shelly Robertson.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ghost Talk Radio. With me is your host, Shelly Robertson. Tonight, I have an interesting topic up for discussion, and that is Valentine's Day, Mayhem, and Hauntings. But before we get started, I would like to invite everyone to drop on over to our chat room at wbhm-db.com, where you can join in on the discussion or ask me any questions you might have. Okay, all you listening lovebirds out there tonight, before we get into all the Valentine's Day mayhem, I want to talk a little bit about the history of Valentine's Day. Y'all know me. I love the history of how things get started and how they are originated. So, let's talk about some of Valentine's Day traditions that I find very fascinating, also in other countries. And I find that fascinating because there's a lot of other countries that celebrate or don't celebrate the holidays in such a different manner when you can, compare them to our own culture. And I just find the differences so very fascinating. While we associate Valentine's Day with love and candy and flowers here in the United States, do you all know where Valentine's Day originated from? That's right, folks. Valentine's Day originated in Rome, Italy, the country of love and romance. And believe it or not, Italy is one of the top destinations for romantic getaways. While I've never been to Italy, I sure do love their food. I could give me a big old plate of spaghetti and meatballs any day. Now, I'll tell you, Valentine's Day was also called the Feast of St. Valentine. Thinking about food, of course. The Feast of St. Valentine's was established by Pope Gelasius in AD 496 to be celebrated on February 14th in honor of their Christian martyr, St. Valentine of Rome, who died on that same date in AD 269. Now, there were numerous stories associated with various Valentines connected to February 14th, including a written account of St. Valentine of Rome's imprisonment for performing weddings for soldiers who were forbidden to marry and for ministering to Christians who were persecuted under the Roman Empire. Now, according to the legend, St. Valentine actually restored the sight to the blind daughter of his judge. And he wrote her a letter signed Your Valentine as a farewell before his execution. That is pretty, astonishing, huh? St. Valentine's Day is an official feast day in the Anglican Communion and in the Lutheran Church. Many parts of the Eastern Orthodox Church also celebrate St. Valentine's Day, not only on February 14th, but also on July 6th and July 30th. And the former dates, those are in honor of Roman presbyter St. Valentine. So now let's fast forward this a little bit, because that's some really, really old history, right? Fast forward a little bit, get into some more recent times, or at least a little closer, about, how Valentine's Day is celebrated in other countries. And we'll take a look at a few of the traditions. Of course, Valentine's Day has been celebrated in the United States for decades, and we all know this. In the United States, about 190 million actually, which is just mind-boggling. 190 million Valentine's cards are sent each year, and this number doesn't include the hundreds of millions of cards that the school children exchange. That's just a lot of paper, don't you think? Lots and lots of paper. Now, Valentine's Day in the United States is a major source of economic activity. Corporations and businesses depend on Valentine's Day for a big chunk of their company's earnings. Just in 2017 alone, and this is just so hard for me to wrap my brain around, over 18 billion, with a B, billion, was spent on Valentine's Day stuff. Wrap your brain around that. 18 billion. That is a lot of money. Valentine's Day has become so commercialized here in the United States. Retailers such as flower shops and candy manufacturers, along with restaurants, movie show theaters, hotels, and popular romantic travel destinations, depend on this money generated from Valentine's Day sales. Valentine's Day is some big booming industry here in the United States. Not to mention, there's a lot of pressure on your men out there to really impress your girl on Valentine's Day with lots of lavish and expensive gifts of even jewelry. Yeah, that's right. Jewelry industry is in on that too. And the pressure for the guys, is it the right gift? Does the gift really profess my love? Is she going to like it? Will it be good enough? Well, never fear, fellas. Flowers, candy, and dinner never go out of style here in the United States. So, let's take a look at some other countries that I find absolutely fascinating in regard to their celebration and tradition of Valentine's Day. In Finland, okay, and I hope I do the country of Finland justice when I say this, Valentine's Day is called Ystävänpäivä, which translates into Friend Day. So in Finland, Valentine's Day is actually for remembering and celebrating friends and not so much significant others. Very interesting, right? Now let's move on, shall we, to Ireland. On St. Valentine's Day in Ireland, many individuals who seek true love make a Christian pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Valentine on Whitefriars Street at the Carmelite Church in Dublin. This is said to house the relics of St. Valentine of Rome. Now, these individuals who make this pilgrimage to the shrine, they pray at the shrine in hopes of finding romance. There is actually a book there with some prayer requests from foreigners and locals who have written in this book. And I tell you what, I would actually love to see the book and read some of the prayer requests. I would find that absolutely fascinating. Now we're going to move on and let's go to South Korea. Women give chocolate to men on February 14th, and men give non-chocolate candy to women on March 14th, which is called White Day. Now, on April 14th, that's called Black Day in South Korea. Those who did not receive anything on February or March 14th, they get to go to a Chinese or Korean restaurant and they get to eat black noodles and express their grief for being single. Wow, that is just so interesting. And I wonder just how many restaurants in South Korea are filled with people sitting there eating black noodles, I mean, sad but kind of comical to me. Now, we're going to move on. And we're going to go to Saudi Arabia. In 2002 and 2008, religious police banned the sale of all Valentine's Day items, telling the shop workers to remove any red items because the day is considered a Christian holiday. Now, this ban had created a black market for roses and wrapping paper. Can you believe that? Black market for roses and wrapping paper. In 2012, the religious police there in Saudi Arabia arrested more than 140 Muslims for celebrating the holiday, and they confiscated all the red roses from flower shops. Muslims are not allowed to celebrate the holiday, and non-Muslims can only celebrate behind closed doors. Okay? However, in 2017 and 2018, after a fatwa was widely circulated, the religious police did not prevent Muslims from celebrating the day any longer. Imagine, folks, getting arrested for professing your love. That's just absolutely amazing. But I guess it goes deeper than that, considering a Christian holiday. But still quite amazing. Now, the concept of Valentine's Day was introduced into Pakistan during the late 1990s. Yeah, so that's not been all that long ago. And this happened with special TV and radio programs. The Jamaat-e-Islami political party had called for the banning of Valentine's Day celebrations after this. In 2016, local governed body of Peshawar officially banned the celebration of Valentine's Day in the city. The ban was also implemented in other cities such as Kohat and by other local governments. In 2017, the High Court banned Valentine's Day celebrations in public places in Pakistan. So, no love professing there in Pakistan. That is absolutely remarkable. So, I'm going to move on to Japan now. And I find a lot of traditions in Japan, actually in a lot of the Asian countries, so interesting because they are a lot different from ours. So moving to Japan, there was this manufacturing company who introduced the holiday for the first time in 1936, okay? And it ran an advertisement aimed mostly at foreigners. Now later, in 1953, it began promoting the giving of heart-shaped chocolates, and other Japanese confectionery companies followed the suit thereafter. So now we're fast-forwarding a little to 1958. There was this department store that had ran a Valentine's Day sale that had furthered the campaigns during the 1960s. And it actually popularized the custom of Valentine's Day. There is a custom in Japan, however, that only women give chocolates to men. And especially office ladies, they give chocolate to their coworkers. Over there in Japan, greeting cards, candies, flowers, dinner dates, they are actually pretty uncommon, and most of the gift-related